Well, good. Hello, everybody. Good morning and welcome to another episode of the Buddhist Biohacker. My name is Lisa. I am your demystification guide, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Welcome also to Dallisa Hocking's YouTube channel, Spirit and Spark TV, and welcome back, Dallisa. I missed you, so I'm happy to have you back.
Yeah, I missed you too. I love your intro. You've updated it.
Yes, I have. And actually, I've already started working. I'm updating it again. So I'm almost done with the new one, but I love making them. So they're fun.
Absolutely. How's your day going so far?
Oh, as you know, it's been, it's good, but I definitely overslept. There's so much activity on the astral plane at night that like this whole week I've just really overslept, because normally I'm up at like 6 and now it's been like 8, which is really late for me. So I don't know. How are you doing?
Yeah, it's strange because I woke up this morning. I usually wake up around 5:30 in the morning. And this morning I woke up and then I felt like spirit kept kind of dragging me back into short little dreams to show me things. And then finally I was like, I gotta get up. So sleep has definitely been weird. But the energy in the sky is so intense and there's so many planets doing so many different things that I know a lot of people are either not sleeping or they just feel tired a lot. So it's a wild, wild west we're living in right now.
It totally is. And welcome to everybody. Welcome to Jessica's a new member to Buddhist Biohacker. So welcome, Jessica. And Nikki is a member to Spirit and Spark TV. So welcome, Nikki. So welcome to our members. And if you want to know more information about me and Dallisa's membership spaces, you just click the join button at the top of both of our channels and you can check in there. And everybody who's joining in the live, I'd love to hear how your week is going and how you're being affected. We love hearing about that. And I just want to share, so this is one of our special Diamond Beauty segments. So last year, you know, this whole concept of Diamond Beauty came through the Sacred Council, and it was this concept of, you know, we're these diamond faceted beings coming from the high heart center and the seat of the soul. And there was about 30 women that I have worked with in the last year out of like 300 that I really felt were just the representation of that crystalline space. And Dallisa, you're one of them for sure, and a soul sister for me. And we have Karen Lazone is an incredible author and creator and filmmaker. And she has been so gracious to write articles about every single one of these women. And they are up on my blog. So you can read about Dallisa. It'll be up on my blog later today. And you'll get a message about that on Ajata Casa as well. But you can read more about her and who she is. So today is really honoring you, Dallisa, and what you have going on and what you want to share and anything. So, and I just love spending time with you on the air. It's fun. And
I know, I love spending time with you too. It's an honor to be one of your Diamond Beauties. Thanks for featuring me. You know, before we were going live, you and I were talking about the energy and how completely insane it is right now. And a video I was watching yesterday, shout out to Astrology Hub, and their YouTube channel, but talking about how there's a lot of this energy in the collective around insanity. And I remember very vividly back in 2019 getting downloads from Spirit saying, you got to get everybody ready for 2020. And I'm like, what? Like, what do you want? Right. And the messages were there's going to be food issues, food shortages, and there's going to be some worldwide global health issue. Right. And I kept feeling like we were going to have trouble getting the right kind of like medicine to ourselves. The symbolism was really strange, when I look back on it. And of course, we all know what we went through in 2020. And I've sat down and asked, okay, now we're in 2021. Oh, wait, it's not over. It's far from over. And we're going to be going through these trials and tribulations, both on a, individual level and then also in the collective. And we know that America is going to be going through a lot of the same energy it went through, I think, around Independence Day and the Constitution or whatever it is. So, yeah. And when I've asked Spirit, okay, what are things going to change? I keep hearing 2025. And so I feel like there's, a few more years to go. But I guess my point with all of this, because you are also a Diamond Beauty and the rest of the group as well is remarkable. I feel like we were tapped on the shoulder a few years ago to say, all right, here's what we need you to do. We need you to step up in a big way. We need you to be heart-centered. We need you to really care about helping people, because I wanted so badly to write on social media last night. I was just feeling this urge to remind everyone, if you hear that somebody say, oh, I'm a spiritual person, I'm a healer, it doesn't actually mean they're a really good, light-filled person. So that was coming in really strongly last night. So I think because more and more people are being called to be healers, we're really going to have to practice discernment, because you should not have a session with everyone you feel, can tell you something about your future. You really need to be clear on what their motives are and what energy are they working with and why are they doing the work that they're doing. So anyway, I just wanted to share that first.
No, and I agree. And I think it's just really important to look at their body of work and to see if they've done their own inner work. I mean, I think that we've talked about that so many times, but it's worth saying again, is just when we're called to heal, and we've been there, like I was there, like when we first start working with people, really, we're actually wanting to heal ourselves. And so it doesn't mean that you can't work with people or that we didn't, because I did still, even though I was in my own journey as well. But I think, it's really looking at what teachers you feel connected to that you want, that have done that work and that can support you with what you're doing. And man, you guys are sharing all sorts of stuff. So not sleeping, but not tired either. Totally get that. Let's see, Terrence is saying, horribly, everyone are stealing my things for good luck. Oh my gosh. And that goes back to the Neptune energy, that deception energy that Yelena was talking about earlier. Leslie's had crazy, vivid dreams all week. Nikki also up and down all week, not bad, just making me look back. And yeah, the Mercury retrograde's making everybody look back. And it's been really, I don't know about you, Dallisa, but I've gotten a ton of relationship calls in the last 48 hours, like people really having friendship, relationship. There's been some death, a lot of just separation energy, it seems like, is coming up right now in the middle of this retrograde, or in the beginning of the retrograde. It's not even the middle. It's the beginning.
Yeah, it's the beginning. I think we've got, probably with shadow period, at least 3 weeks to go. But yeah, when I was predicting energy for 2021, they said very clearly that there were going to be a lot of divorces this year. And, with divorces, people getting into new relationships, breakups with friendships, breakups with business collaborations, that there was going to be a lot of the old, closing the door on that and then being able to go forward. I mean, obviously we have the solar eclipse coming up, in about a week. And that, for me, the way I've kind of, synthesized what we're going through right now, just in these couple of weeks. Yes, we have Mercury retrograde. Yes, we're in Saturn retrograde. There's a lot of other planetary things going on too, but we just went through the lunar eclipse, which I thought was like this huge, like, aha, we're burning everything down. And then the solar eclipse, which I believe is June 10th, then it's like, okay, now here's your door. Like, what are you going to do with it? It's like that phoenix rising energy. And we're getting hit so fast in such a concentrated amount of time that people are going to feel that things are breaking apart. But I love that we do these videos. We come on and we share what we're feeling, what predictions we have coming, because it helps people remember that they're not alone. Mm-hmm. You know, imagine, I say this sometimes on my show, I'm like, imagine that you're the 95% of people driving around on the roads today having no idea that there's all these planetary things going on, really not clued in to what we're going through. I mean, you would or could start to feel severely depressed, anxiety filled. You could feel like everything is falling apart at the seams, and you could feel alone, when in reality, pretty much everyone is going through it to some degree, or some very close relationship to you, like a spouse, a parent, a child, is really going through it. So we're all feeling it right now. But I know you and I have talked about this, that things that are coming for the world, for the United States, it is going to feel like bat-ish crazy. What do you think?
I agree. And I think we haven't even begun the change. And I think that's what I really want to remind everyone. And I think I've said it 15 times in the last week, but I'm going to say it again, which is, if you think that this is the big awakening and suddenly like everything's going to be better or be everybody's awake and the truth is out, that's just not how this is going to work. A lot of people are going to hold on to old narratives. A lot of people are going to experience, that like schizophrenia or that insanity space that you're talking about, where they don't know what's real anymore and they're feeling very confused. And I really believe, so I've been told very clearly that the 20s would be the roaring 20s, another version of what it was in the 1920s, and that we were going to experience this energy for the next decade. But this is hundreds of years. And that's what I keep getting, is like, this whole change is hundreds of years. However, the next 10 years, I think the face of the United States is going to completely change, as well as that ripple effect across the planet. And it's not that the United States is number one either, by the way. It's just that it seems like the energy is so potent in the United States natal chart that what's happening is it's rippling out. And then, of course, we have the what has happened with the global pandemic. So that's affected everybody, obviously, and everything. So I agree. I mean, I think this is a long-term thing. I think we're going to see a lot of change. I think between now and the next election, if it happens in 2024, the way that it's happened, or even if it happens during that year, I'm iffy on that, honestly. I feel like I'm not sure what's going to happen between now and 2024, but I do feel like there will be a reshaping of that between now and 2024. And there's just so much to happen. So, but I loved what somebody said. There was a teacher, I was part of the Quantum Miracles docuseries, which was really an honor and really special event. And it just concluded yesterday. And one of the other practitioners said something that I really loved, which was, we're in this period, just like the Dark Ages, just like what we went through, which, by the way, was the plague, right? There was the plague, there was a global pandemic, it was the Dark Ages. But she said, what came out of that was the Renaissance. And I loved that she brought that up, because it really made me think, oh yeah, all that creativity, all that light, all that beautiful change in the way that we were living and thinking and dressing and experiencing life. And so it is going to happen. And hopefully we'll be able to live long enough to see it. I mean, I think our lifetimes are extended for sure. I think all of us will make it past the 100 mark, is what it feels like to me, with all the technology and things coming out. So anyways, I totally agree with you, is the point of all that.
Yeah, I think that a lot of our maybe pieces of our life that we feel have been foundational, right? The way we have money, the way we spend money, the lines of the state we live in, if you're in the United States, food and how we get food, how we grow food. There are so many structural things in our lives that I feel are on the brink of really shifting. I do see the United States and the lines within the United States changing. So when, people say, oh, so-and-so state is thinking about, exiting from the United States and becoming their own body, their own country, whatever that looks like. Some people scoff at it or laugh, but I'm like, no, actually, I see it. And what's so interesting is I feel like the veil between us and them, the other side, is becoming so thin. My grandmother, my mom's mom, passed away unexpectedly a couple weeks ago. And my mom has wanted, to connect with her and make sure she's okay. And I was sitting on the couch last night and I was like, oh, actually, she's here. And I could see her sitting on the couch. I could see my grandfather, who has passed away, standing in the door. Oh, and then I saw my mom's aunt who passed away. Oh, and her brother. And they were all just standing there saying hello. I'm like, this is interesting. So they're coming in sharper. They're coming in easier. And I remember Tuesday morning, I was telling people about the ransomware attacks in my members community. And I said, listen, the first one that we saw with the oil stuff, that was practice, guys. That was practice. They're just getting warmed up. They want to see what they can get away with. I said, there's going to be more. And within 24 hours, there were 2 more that were major, made mainstream news. And I also said that one of the doctors, I don't want this to get flagged, who's been kind of involved in a lot of what's been going on last year and this year, that there was going to be new information that came out about their involvement. And sure enough, the headline, I think it was last night or this morning, that started revealing some information there. So I love that the veil is thinning, is my point, so that we can get more information, so that we can help to guide people through this turbulence that we're all experiencing. How have you felt about that veil thinning?
I feel the same way. We're always so in sync, which is so nice. And I think we both agree. It's like nice to be able to say, hey, I'm picking up this and I'm picking up that. And same thing. I was looking at my transmission, which I had done these for each month, like back in November. And I was really surprised that it came up in May and June that truths about the pandemic would be revealed. And then here we are, same, as like you're talking about. And I'm like, oh, here it is. That's what's happening. And yeah, my dad's had to put his dog to sleep yesterday. I was so sad. And he posted a picture in the app for everybody who wants to send their love and support to my dad, because it's really hard for them to do that. But it was amazing because I was driving on the highway during that time. And I immediately saw the dog's name is Bridger. I immediately saw Bridger. I saw the experience Bridger was having. It was like, there was no, and I'm like driving and I'm like, oh, he's leaving and this is where he's going and this is what's happening. And I think we can safely say, like, it used to be, I had to really be in a space to like get that information. And I'll admit, like, it comes easy for me, right? Like, I've been talking to people on the other side since I was a kid. So it's not like I had to like, meditate for 30 minutes or something, but I did have to like be in a space and to have things just land. Like when I'm driving my car, I'm at the park with the kids, or I'm just sitting here working, even stuff just comes and you're like, whoa. But same as you, like there's the days of the shadowy figures are sort of diminishing. It's like, literally they're just standing here in the room. There is no creepy, shadowy stuff. Sometimes I still get that, but now it's like, oh no, these are just people walking around my house. Like it's very different. It's very different. And I wonder what you think. Let's talk about like the ultra terrestrial galactic side of things, because when we talk about the veil, my understanding is that part of this veil really is protecting us to be in this experiment that we're in on this planet. And so what I'm finding really fascinating is that veil is diminishing. Like the connection between myself and ultra terrestrials is the same as people who passed away. It's like the interdimensional energies and the ability to access other lifetimes in the moment. Like that's what's blowing my mind, is like, wow, like you really can just see all the layers, where before you were definitely, to be in now time takes focus for me, where before, you had your life and you were human or whatever, and then all of a sudden you're talking to, what do you think? I mean, are you feeling that too?
Yeah. So, a little fun fact. So a lot of people who, follow me on Spirit and Spark TV, I talk about like, oh yeah, I'm just kind of living temporarily with my parents. I got all my stuff in storage. Like I'm figuring out where I want to put roots down and all that stuff. And so I bring that up because, being with my parents, they're really funny. So my mom like always watches the Hallmark Channel, right? But my dad always, I could guarantee it's one of three things: a gold mining show, paranormal ghost shows, but he watches UFO alien shows like nobody's business. And I love it because I can sit there and I can have conversations about it. What do you think is going to happen? Where do you think they're coming from? And what's their purpose? And so he and I have very open discussions about it. My belief is that they're already here. I feel like they're using different portals. And I think that's why sometimes you catch them like go in and then they like just completely disappear. So they're using different portals. I believe that there are either hubs or portals inside the oceans, inside the mountains, and they're getting intel, data, power, whatever it is from these sources. Here's what I love your opinion on, and even people watching, if you want to comment and let us know what you think. Because there have been kind of two sides, two different narratives around aliens and beings and why are they here. And some people believe that they're here to really help us, that they're kind of monitoring us. And if there was to be any kind of, large scale war attack, missiles, that kind of thing, that they would squash it, and that they've squashed things before, and that it's not really anything that we should be afraid of. But there's a lot of narrative as well around fear it. If they show up, we're going to attack them. We'll be in an all-out global war. And they're very different perspectives on what's happening here. So what are your thoughts? What do you think?
Well, before I even say that, I got to tell you, so talk about alien shows. So April Megginson, who's a good contributor to Buddhist Biohacker, turned me on to a Gaia series called Interviews with Extra Dimensionals. And I've only just started watching it. You guys, this is unbelievable show because they're interviewing the channels in trance, communicating to the ultra terrestrials. So it's unbelievable. It's so awesome. And what's even more awesome is I was watching it thinking, wow, like I've been getting this kind of information when I'm in trance. Like I've been in trance channel all my life, but really deliberately since 2007. And it's really, the information's amazing. So first off, everybody go watch that. Your dad should watch that. You guys should watch that, Dallisa, because it's like so good. Scott and I just started watching it. But yeah, Interviews with Extra Dimensionals is epic and awesome. So that said, like they interview Bashar and Elizabeth April and all sorts of people. And so anyway, so my opinion is this. I really think we have to not bucket the entire world of ultra terrestrials into good or bad, because they're just like us. That would be like saying everyone in the US is bad and everyone in Africa is good. Like that doesn't make any sense. So I think we have to be really careful with that. And I think that there's absolutely a narrative being spun out about it being bad. And so I think we have to be careful of that, because I think that there's always an agenda. It's wanting permission to do things like start a war. So I think we have to be careful. But, I haven't really talked about this very much, but, I keep getting a really strong, I've just felt this for a few years now, that Elon Musk is meant to get us out into space where we're like out there to be part of the galactic experience. Battle, war is like the negative term of it, but it's like to get us out there. I think he'll be known for thousands of years as the guy who got us out. And I think that's his mission, is to get us in space where we're existing in space, living, working, so that we're part of the bigger picture. So my sense of what's happening, and I get goosebumps while I say this, is there's a lot of layers to it, right? Because yes, I think that they're trying to protect us. I don't think that we could have a big nuclear war, because I just don't think it would be the ripple effect across the solar system. It would just affect too much in a negative way. And it would ruin this experiment. So I think we're definitely being protected there. But I also think that, and for some reason that totally I just went somewhere right now when I said that, and I don't know where I went, but so I do think we're being protected. Oh, I know what I was going to say. I also have gotten information that the virus went off planet and is affecting other systems. And I think that part of the ramp up in communication is they're trying to give us the technology we need to kind of move past this and get things under control. So I think that there's going to be, and I know we love Joni Patry, and I know she talks a lot about the astrology around technology and health and healing. And I do believe that that's part of what's happening, is this, we have to move past the old ways of healing. We have to move into this new space because we're impacting other people. It's like, get your stuff together and clean up your house kind of thing. Like, this is getting a little too crazy. So I think that's part of what's happening. But I also think, going back to this veil that you're talking about, is my opinion is we're going into a space where we can handle in our consciousness that our planet is not the only planet, and that our species is not the only species. And so I think what we're going to see, and I'm not sure on the timing of this. I mean, it could be the next couple years. It could be 1,000 years. It could be the next couple of years for some of us, and for other people it's longer. I don't know. But I think this veil isn't just about us in the spirit world. I think this veil is really about, actually, there's other dimensions. Actually, there's other species and beings. Actually, there's other stuff out there, because again, going back to Elon and spaces, we're getting ready to launch out into a space where we have to know what's going on. We can't be this ignorant. So that was long-winded, but that's my opinion.
No, it's helpful. I love just kind of bantering back and forth, and as we talk and share our thoughts, we also get to share with everybody that's watching, which I would trust they find helpful. But yeah, I love the movie Arrival. If you haven't seen the movie Arrival, you have to watch it. It's with Amy Adams.
Writing it down.
Yeah, it's really good. It's on Amazon Prime, if you've got that. And basically, alien spacecraft land, and Amy Adams understands all kinds of languages. And so she is asked to communicate with the aliens, and it's fantastic. And I think it's really eerily right on to what I feel is coming. And then June, this month we're in right now, I do feel we're going to have more alien activity. It looks like Leslie was saying that she was in Big Bear, May 21st through the 23rd. She says, my husband and a few neighbors saw about 10 lights flying over in a pattern. Yeah, so I feel like that's going to start increasing. I've kind of jokingly said, oh, just wait until, a UFO just lands over a city and just stays. That's kind of what happens in Arrival. It is what happens in that movie Arrival.
Well, it happens in a lot of movies, but of course, a lot of movies spin it to the fear space. But
right. Yeah. And so Arrival goes back and forth between the fear and the light. So anyway, I don't want to ruin it, but it's really good. It's worth it. But yeah, I think there's going to be more disclosure this month. And they've even said, we're going to release more classified reports and data this month. The government could say that, and then what do they actually do? But I do think we're going to be experiencing more of that galactic energy this month. You and I've talked also about food being an issue. So we've seen food shortages, we've seen inflation and pricing of food. I've been telling folks, you need to get a garden, you need to be planting your own food. Are you still seeing that kind of vision as well? I'm getting, where it's you really need water on hand. You need non-perishable food. You need extra gasoline or a way to heat your homes. I feel that but what do you feel about like kind of our day-to-day living and the way that we're experiencing life right now?
Yeah, I think buy local, buy direct, go to your farmer's market, get not to go to a grocery store. That's my personal goal, is to really be able to, and I'm very lucky. Like I went to culinary school, so I know how to cook. So this summer, summer started for us with the kids, and I'm going to be baking bread homemade. I'm going to be teaching the girls how to can. So that we can can food for the winter. So I really want to get back into that old system of, you buy fresh and then you can for the fall and winter. And then I'm really obsessed with seed, like buying seeds. I don't know what this is or where it's coming from, but I trust it. But I'll tell you what, Dallisa, like I did plant some vegetables for the first time in probably 15 years. And so I planted some vegetables. We're just getting started with our garden, so it's not going to be full-fledged this year, but it's something. But I'm saving I'm buying extra seed packets and I'm saving them. I feel like we need to have seeds for the things that we're planting just in case we can't get them at some point. So that's something that I've been up with for sure. So I get the same thing, supply chain issues. And, my husband is very well versed in supply chain management. That's part of his career background. And, he watches a lot of that. And in the lineage, what is being affected right now, my husband's been really clear, like this is going to affect us in the next few months, in the next year, and it just hasn't trickled to us yet. So, there's data around this too. It's not just, the psychic energy. There's really going to be some problems. And then I'm curious, Dallisa, what do you think about this dam in China? Everybody's talking about this dam in China. I don't know if you've heard about it, but there's a big dam in China. And it's cracked. And when it breaks, it's going to destroy hundreds and hundreds of factories. And I don't know quite all the information, but there's some dam in China that might break. And I haven't really looked at it. I'm just curious if you have any thoughts, even while we're talking, because it feels tenuous, but I can't tell a time frame or anything, but it's a big deal. A lot of people are talking about this dam breaking.
Yeah. And I hate to say it's intentional, but that's the first thing that came in. I don't trust a lot of people these days that call themselves leaders. But I also will say that when I was looking at the energy for 2021, I felt a tsunami on that part of the world. So, and I was getting Ring of Fire and I was feeling Asia, but yeah. So,
well, I can't remember the name of the dam, but
there's going to be some major natural disasters. I was in the middle of a session yesterday and I heard my team say there's going to be an earthquake, and that was yesterday.
Yeah, I'm getting earthquakes pretty big and fire. I'm hearing is it Three Gorges? It's the Three Gorges Dam in China.
Okay.
So I guess keep our fingers on that. But when it breaks, it's going to affect the whole planet. I mean, this is it's the biggest dam in the world or something. And so it's something for us to keep. So you had mentioned a tsunami clear back in December, and it made me think of this dam. Because it's cracked, and there's definitely, and I agree with you on the intentional piece. It could be part of a warfare kind of thing that happens. But yeah, so that's that. And the earthquake, my transmission for May and June said earthquakes, volcanoes, fire, definitely possible during this time. And I'm in Colorado. We had a ton of fires last year. And what's interesting is I got a message that this year would be more water issues than fire issues, where last year was very fire. But I do still feel like California, Colorado, Arizona, these warmer states, and I know you're in Vegas, these warmer states feel like we could still see a lot of fires this summer, unfortunately.
Yeah, I have to go back to a point we were talking about a minute ago, and when I was mentioning about luxuries of everyday life kind of being taken out, right? as I was saying that, a couple of moments later, we have a couple folks in the comments that are saying that their internet was having issues. And at the same time, you were cutting out for a second.
Oh.
So I thought that was interestingly timed in regards to one of the predictions that I have and what they're trying to do in regards to our internet and our power. I do see disruption with that this year.
Yeah. I love what KTL has to say. Every event, everything that happens, we come up with solutions, we adapt, we are pushed to spread our creativity and invent help. I love Ian Malcolm's quote in JP, life will find a way. I love that so much. And I also, Vicky says, the collection of non-GMO seed is important in taking care of ourselves. And I totally agree. And wow, everybody's got, I know I've had some friends who have had a ton of internet issues, and mine's like, dang Mercury. Yeah, you know, we do a lot of live shows, Dallisa and I, and I've just gotten used to things are going to happen, and you just have to kind of let go of like worrying about it and just hope it all works out.
Yeah, this Mercury retrograde is a doozy, and with everything that's going on with so many other planets, it's kind of like, oh yeah, Mercury retrograde, because it's not even like the core of what's happening right now, but it is going to mess with your technology. Just count for like the whole month of June. It's just going to screw with it. If you're traveling, take extra time, take extra precautions, double check your list, make sure you've got everything. It's your time to rethink, reevaluate, redo everything.
I have to tell you, so this is pretty wild, but my office door just came open and this being just came in here. It's like these translucent terrestrial, I don't know who they are, but I'm not even kidding. They're standing right here. And he's like doing this, like looking to see right now, like the door just opened and all this wind came in and I could see he's like translucent and I just don't know who they are, but I love them. I'm
so
glad
weird.
They showed up for a video. Mental hospital right now. I mean, seriously. But he's like checking things out. He's just like, what's going on? I mean, it's so cool. Like, I don't know where they're coming from. I've gotten and the door just closed.
I heard it.
Right? Oh my God. But you know, I got the name of where they came from, and dang it if I can't remember it. It was like one of those, it was like 3 a.m. and I was looking, there were 3 of them in my room, these translucent beings. It's not Ashtar because that's a whole other thing, but it's an A name, but I just cannot remember. I had written it down. And I was all excited. And it wasn't Arcturian either. Anyways, I don't know. I don't remember. It was like 3 a.m. and they told me, and you know how that goes. If you don't write it down, it's like but now they've been around my house a lot and they're just so sweet, like really sweet, watery. I don't know. They just showed up just now.
Yeah, Mary Lydia Ryan, she's like, totally heard it, Lisa.
Yes, I know. I'm like, well, at first I thought it was Cauldron, and then I saw with my third eye that it was them, and I was like, oh, it's these beings coming in to visit us.
I love it. They're checking out what we're doing. That's cool.
I know. Don't be surprised if they don't come to your house now, Dallisa, because they're like, oh, she's talking to this lady. Let's go check her out.
Yeah, I know you can put out like a beam. You know, you can say like, all right, I'm ready. Come get me. Like, not get me, but like, come hang out. Come say hello. Yeah, I'm not done with this Earth life. I got to figure a lot of stuff out still. So.
Oh my God, that makes me think of Ghostbusters when Bill Murray was like teasing Dan Aykroyd and he was like, "Get her," because remember at the beginning he was like, "Get her," and like trying to get that poltergeist at the beginning. Anyways, I love that movie so much.
Yeah, I can't say I met Bill Murray on an airplane, but he was on the airplane I was on, and I smiled at him and said hello, and he smiled back. So at least he knows I'm alive.
Oh, I love it so much. Everybody's asking. I typed in what I think it is, but I don't remember. I'll have to sit with it, I guess. But of where these people, not Atlantean either. I mean, we're kind of all Atlantean, you know.
Yeah, Atlantean, Palladian. We got all kinds of stuff going on.
Well, yeah, our DNA is a smorgasbord, a veritable smorgasbord, as the rat would say in Charlotte's Web, whatever, Templeton.
Oh, I love that movie. It always made me cry as a kid.
Oh my God, I just love Charlotte. Oh, here comes my door wide open again. Come back in. They're coming back in. Maybe they'll tell me where they're from while we're Oh man, my poor husband's sitting here by me, by the way, probably thinking, what in God's name is going on in my office right now?
That's funny.
Oh man, that's so great. Oh gosh. So what do you have going on? Let's talk about like what you have going on and how folks can connect with you and just what's up right now so people know what to do and how to tune in and everything.
Yeah, first of all, thanks again for having me on the show today. I would say, Lisa and I are going to end up doing some YouTube members only live readings in the not so far out future. So make sure that you've joined our channels by clicking that join button on Buddhist Biohacker and Spirit and Spark TV. And yeah, because we know, we recognize people still want clarity, they want answers, but we definitely want to be guides and teachers and be helpful as well. Over in my Spark Plug community, I'm doing a 21-day meditation challenge. And so I know some of the people who are doing the challenge are on here. We started with over 70 people doing the 21-day challenge, or roughly about halfway through. And we'll see how many end, but that's always fun. I love teaching meditation and guiding folks through that relaxation, because I believe that when you can get into the moment and the peaceful energy, you actually have a lot more clarity. So I use it as a psychic development tool. I'm going to start traveling, so people will see a different backdrop than the one I'm in front of. So that'll be cool. Yeah, I'll take lots of pictures, but yeah, I'm doing sessions. I just don't have that many that I do each week, so it's a bit of a first grab on that. Yeah, but that's kind of it. I'm just like riding this wave. Try not to get too stressed out about anything, and just taking it day by day, and knowing that everything's about to change and everything is going to be in divine order. I kind of think about life as a piece of orchestra music, right? You've got like the lower valleys, you've got the crescendos, and at the end of your life, you've got this like beautiful piece of music, but you're not quite sure where the notes are going to take you all the time. So you just have to trust that it's all in divine order.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Well, and yeah, we just have to go with the flow and see what's going to happen. And then I know you have, through Spirit and Spark, we have so many practitioners who watch our shows. And I think it's worth, if you want to share, I know you're looking for some practitioners for your space as well. So.
Yeah, no, thanks for mentioning that. We're getting so busy because we help clients all over the world. The practitioners are based in the United States. But yeah, you set your own schedule. The way that I have my company set up, I'm more like a marketing arm for healers and readers. And you keep 100% of what you make, which is really attractive to readers and healers, because I know I've worked in traditional spiritual centers and it's usually a commission split. I've done that for my business previously, and I just totally revamped the whole company during the pandemic. And then if you are local to Las Vegas, I do have one spot in our office. We have a shared office that we don't really use, but I have it until mid-September. And if anybody's looking to do in-session readings and they want to test it out, for the next few months, let me know. You can contact me through spiritandspark.com, which is scrolling on your screen here below, and just say, hey, I'm interested. I'll send you more info. But yeah, I probably would love to have 2 more readers, and it could be psychic, card, mediumship. Those practitioners tend to do the best on the team. So yeah, thanks for mentioning it. I would have forgotten.
Well, yeah, I think there's so many of those, we have a lot of experts in the community and our communities, especially. I think it's worth sharing. And Tabitha is sharing. She said it felt translucent and peaceful, but had foggy lines to it. Yeah, so it's exactly who I'm seeing as well, Tabitha. So that's pretty cool that they're visiting you as well. That's super cool. And let's see what else we have. And then Mary is sharing, I love your orchestra analogy, Dallisa. Love that. And thank you, KTL, for subscribing to Buddhist Biohacker. Thank you. And I'm glad you feel great vibes for me. You know, we love what we do. I think that's one thing Dallisa and I have very much in common, is that we love what we do. And I never thought I would be on YouTube. I don't know about you, Dallisa. I never thought I would be a YouTuber. But I really love it because I love the live interaction. Like, I have other videos and film that I'm releasing, but I really love the live. I love being able to connect with everybody. And when we do live readings, which Dallisa just mentioned, she and I are going to be doing that for the members of our community. Both of us have membership programs, and really be able to support you guys, in a more accessible way, because paying $250 for a reading is fine. But I think right now we all need support. So it's all about making it as accessible as possible. And that's what YouTube does. That's what the membership communities does. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely. And I know we both have programs, memberships on that join button here on YouTube that start at just a couple bucks a month. And then you can jump in and participate with us and what we're going to be doing with the readings together, which will be a lot of fun. I will say, even though I didn't know I was going to be a YouTuber, so I wouldn't say I was unpopular. I just wasn't like really popular in high school, definitely not middle school, right? Like, but when I got to college, I took a communications class where I had to do public speaking, and I loved it. And I was voted most likely to become a TV news anchor. So I will say I'm living it. I'm living the dream right here doing live streams, kind of the same thing.
It totally is. Well, that's funny. I was a diehard theater girl in high school. I loved performing. Oh, I got feedback now. But I loved performing. I loved being on stage and loved singing. That was all just part of my life. And I was going to pursue it. And I really got I had a scholarship. I had a full ride to a school in Chicago for musical theater, no joke. And I didn't go. I really felt like, I know, isn't that crazy? I mean, I'll never talk about, it's just things, so many books in my life ago, but I was supposed to go to musical theater school in Chicago, right on the $1 Million Mile and everything. And I remember going with my mom. I had my scholarship. We went to tour the dorms, and I remember looking around, and I just thought, this isn't my path. Like, this isn't what I'm supposed to do with this. And I just didn't go. I went to culinary school instead, and I went and learned how to cook, and didn't do that either, by the way. I didn't work in restaurants. I ended up going into fashion. But the whole point of that is, like you, I was really good at that, but it didn't feel right. And so now here I am like, oh, this is what I was supposed to do with being able to speak. Because I'm a Scorpio. We don't normally do this, but Leo rules my communication house. So it makes me speak out and be loud and proud. And so that's where I'm at now. And even the music part, it's all healing. So it's like, it didn't go that route. But I think about, when you guys think about the programming and the elites and all of that, like, I am certain my indigo child was like, I'm not going into this business. This is not the right business for me. I'm sure I knew somewhere inside myself, like, this is not what I want to align with. So it's very interesting where we end up, because we both, loved and got trained in something that is actually serving the planet now, which is so cool.
Absolutely. Yeah, I remember one of my communications teachers, because that's what I ended up getting my degree in. He was a senior executive at Cox, Cox Communications, the cable company. And he was a phenomenal teacher. He, not too long ago, passed away. But he turned to me one day after the final exam, and he said, listen, if you want to do this, I'll line you up. I'll get you into a market. You're going to have to start small, making next to nothing, doing the news report in whatever Timbuktu town. Same thing. I was like, I don't think so. But I didn't have a really good reason why not, right? So yeah, interesting how the universe just kind of keeps realigning you.
Yes, totally. Totally. And Jeff, I appreciate the shout out. Jeff is saying, if you're not on Ajata Casa, do yourself a favor and download it. Yes, please. Dallisa and I are both in there. And it is my social media app dedicated to nonviolence. And it's so great. And we have so many new members this week. I think we have 7 new people who joined the community this week and joined the app, which is really exciting. And you have a group in there if you want to share what your group is so people can go follow you in there.
Yeah, it's called Divinely Dallisa over in the app. Yeah. And then weekly Monday forecasts on Spirit and Spark TV on YouTube. So yeah, it's kind of my mainstay every Monday. Next, or a couple weeks from now, it's going to be on a Sunday, but because I got to travel. But it's usually on Mondays.
Oh my God, I love it. So what's your words of wisdom for everybody today as we wrap up? Hours go by so quick in here.
I know. Keep on your path. It might feel like the tornado is trying to sweep you away, but if you do your meditations, if you journal, if you walk in nature, remember that everything is designed to get you where you're ultimately going. You're here for a reason. I love Lee Harris years ago when I took one of his classes. He said, if you're still alive, get curious. So I would ask everyone watching this to pause and ask yourself, why do you think you're still here? Is there something that you haven't done because you've been too afraid or it's too much of a risk? And knowing that we all just turn into energy, or we're all energy, and we just go back to home, or wherever we're off to next after this lifetime, what does it really matter if you fail? Right? Because I don't think there are any mistakes. So I would say go bold, make the choices, take a chance, and see where it leads you, because they're going to redirect you anyway.
Yes, it's so true. And I just love you so much. And I missed you. We've both been so busy with all the stuff we have going on. So I'm excited to kind of pick back up here in a couple months and stay connected and all those things. And don't forget, you guys, please go to Spirit and Spark TV here on YouTube and subscribe and view the join button so you can see what Dallisa has to offer. Her website, spiritandspark.com. You can come into Ajata Casa and go to Divinely Dallisa. Lots of ways to connect with Dallisa, but you are absolutely a diamond beauty. And I'm so happy to be able to spend time with you today and to honor you today and to have you, just have it be about you instead of just about everything else,
No, I loved it. I love you. And I'm glad we could do this. Thank you, everybody who tuned in. And it was fun. It was a blast. We'll do it again soon.
Totally. And so much love to everybody out there. I have one more show today, which I can't even believe. I don't know what I was thinking when I scheduled. But anyway, I'll be back in 1 hour with Esha Estar, who has a brand new book out. If you didn't watch her in the November Awakening, she lost her husband unexpectedly a little over a year ago. And her book on grief is amazing, and she's really amazing. So she's going to be on at 1 o'clock Mountain Time here to talk about her new book and how to manage through grief, which right now there's a lot of people leaving. So this is a really good topic. So I will be back again here soon. And thank you so much, Dallisa. I love you so much. And thank you to everybody. And have a great day. And we'll be back. And we'll be back next month, actually, in just a few weeks with our Mysteries of the Mediums and all sorts of fun things. So thank you. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Thank you.